Hello everyone. Tonight I'm going to do a Let's Play of Bowser's Fury, so let's go ahead and get into it. What? None. I don't want your fucking help. Where did Dark Luigi go? He's fucking taunting me. How do I attack him? Do I jump on him? I hope Luigi's dead in universe now. Where am I going? What's happening? What the fuck? I need to get off this thing and actually play the fucking game. But I don't want to. What if Bowser kills himself at the end of the game? No, he tries to kill himself, and then we have to convince Bowser not to. And then Wario comes out of nowhere and says that he should. Then the deciding vote is Waluigi, and then he tells him he should do it, and then Bowser kills himself. That'd probably be my dream Mario ending. What the fuck is that? Is that a predator? Yo. Are you God? So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and turn off all the game audio and talk about my life. For those of you who don't know, I'm in school for accounting. It's my second degree. My first degree is in general business, and I went back to school because my general business degree was useless. When I was getting it, things went well. I had all A's and B's. But then when I graduated, I could not find a job that wasn't customer service. And the whole reason why I went to college in the first place was to get a job that wasn't customer service. So for a few years I worked from home, but due to the pandemic, all the work from home jobs went away because they were filled by more qualified people. So I decided to go back for accounting. I'm almost done with it now. I have pretty much one semester left. Why is this cat crying? You don't have to get a fucking degree. Anyway, to go back to what I was saying, I guess I'm just worried the same thing's going to happen again, and I'm going to end up with another shitty job, or a series of shitty jobs. Plus, I don't really feel like I'm learning much. It's a work from home program, and the material's pretty easy. The tests are a little harder because they're proctored. Even on the proctored exams, though, you can still use your notes. So again, I don't really feel like I'm learning anything. And I normally make like a 90 or a 100, but on an exam here recently, it was totally different than what I expected. And open notes didn't really help me. So I ended up making like a 55. And I kind of freaked out because I thought I either failed the class or dropped to a C in the class and would probably officially fail the class with the next test. But then I looked at my grade, and I still had an A. Like I had exactly a 90A. And at first I was relieved, but then I was like, if I can make a 50 and still make an A in the class, are they really preparing me to be an accountant? And as someone who's gotten a degree before and wasn't able to get a good job, I feel like I'm extra nervous. It is really not a great situation where you have to get out of high school, where you're basically still a kid and choose a career path for the rest of your life. And it's kind of sad how high school, and to me college, doesn't really prepare you for real life at all. I guess one more thing I want to complain about is dating. Dating apps are a complete shit show. And at first I was kind of hype because I matched with more people than I originally expected. But then the conversations were just so shitty. All of them were like, what's up? Nothing much, chilling. While I'm thinking about college, I remember one time me and my friend Luke and a couple others went out and we ate at a restaurant called Pit Grill. Luke ended up flirting with this chick. And it was kind of cringy, but at the same time, the girl seemed into it. He hadn't really had any success with girls up to that point, so he was very happy with the situation. And I was like, damn, college is going to be pretty awesome. And then I woke up the next day, and I had a text from him. So I went to his dorm, and he had a Facebook page open. And he pointed at the Facebook page. And I was like, what's this? Oh, it's the girl from last night. Cool. And I kind of looked, and I didn't know what was wrong at first. And then I realized it said that she was in a relationship. So that whole time he was flirting with her and she was flirting back, she had a boyfriend. So he was understandably pretty embarrassed by the whole thing. And he was like, yeah, dude, I'm going to give her a piece of my mind. And he came back and he's like, dude, it's a misunderstanding. She is in a relationship, but she told me she's about to end things with him and then she'll date me. And I'm like, dude, she's bullshitting you. And he was like, whatever, dude. So he hangs out with her for months. Every weekend, she's telling him she's about to break up with her boyfriend. She did eventually break up with the boyfriend. Only problem is, she dated another dude. And my friend was pretty heartbroken. I talked to him in his dorm room after it was all said and done. And he was like, when I left to go to college, my dad told me I probably wouldn't make it. He was right. And I'm kind of a cynical asshole, but that broke my heart a little bit. I guess I can talk about my script as well. My friend told me it was the best thing I've written so far, which isn't exactly a high bar, but at the same time, I've kind of just lost interest in it. In my head, it was super cool and emotional and awesome, but on paper, it's like a mediocre Netflix movie. So now I'm working on another script. It's a lot more focused. The other one was kind of set in a fictional, fantastical world, and this one is just set in real life. Because I think the weakest part of it, of the last script, was me trying to do world building. One thing that I've noticed, both on this script and the last one, I always overwrite the first act. Like I've reviewed a bunch of stuff, and I always said something along the lines of, there's not enough character development. And so in my own scripts, it's like I overcorrect. Since I'm thinking about dating now, I went on a date with this one girl, and it was going pretty great. And then she told me pretty much out of nowhere that she was moving to Florida, which would have been fine, except for some reason I blurted out, to do what? Be a prostitute? And I said it as a joke, but it didn't sound like a joke. And she was like, why would you say that? And I went from like, me and this chick are probably going to end up being boyfriend and girlfriend, to like, this chick is probably never going to speak to me after this.
I fucked up. Yeah.
So I knew this dude in high school. At this point, I'm just telling random stories. I called him up on the phone and told him I liked this girl. We'll call her Stevie. And he asked me why I liked her. And I gave my reasons. Basically, like a day after I call him and tell him I like this girl, he says, hey dude, so I've been thinking about Stevie. And I know that you like her and everything, but you did such a great job explaining why you like her. I've decided that I like her now. And I was like, dude, what the fuck? And he's like, yeah, no, I'm sorry, but I'm going to go for it. And I called my other friends, and they were like, yeah, he's a douchebag. Don't worry about it. But anyway, he started courting Stevie. And courting is the only way I can think to describe it. And she came into English class, and she was like, hey guys, you should look and see what I have. And we kind of crowded around her. And she showed us this box. And the box had a necklace in it. And the necklace was worth like $200. In addition to the necklace, there was a note in the box. Keep in mind they've been talking for a week. Basically, he said he loved her, he wanted to be with her, a bunch of cringy high school stuff that was even cringy back then. She ended up keeping the necklace, but then turning him down and throwing away the note. And then I remember right after that, she switched to a different school. And on his MySpace, he changed his profile song to The Ghost of You by My Chemical Romance and acted like they totally would have been together if she hadn't changed schools. Another story that I think is funny, I had this friend who really liked this girl, and she was finally like, you know, giving him a chance or whatever. So he walked like 2 miles to her house. He comes to school the next day, and he looks like his dog has died, his cat has died, his parents have died, everyone he has ever known is dead. And so someone asked him what happened, and he said that he was unable to get it in. And we said, what do you mean? And he said, I just couldn't get it in. She wanted to. It was dark, though, and I couldn't get it in. And we called bullshit. And we're like, dude, if she changed her mind or shut you down, that's fine. But the lie you're making up is worse. It means a girl was willing to have sex with you. And you mechanically just couldn't make it work. And he said, no, I mean, that's the story. And we found out later from the girl, because she ended up marrying another friend of mine, that was in fact what happened. So sometimes I wonder how all of our lives would be different if he had just gotten it in that night. The same guy years later, I went to his house because it was me, him, and Tony. And I remember he had enough money for electricity or running water. And he picked electricity because he wanted to play Dark Souls 3. And I'm sorry if this is gross, but he was like shitting in a bag and like throwing it outside because he had no water. I mean, Dark Souls is great, but I mean, I love being able to shower and take a bath if it so suits me. You know, I've called myself a gamer before, kind of as a joke, but that dude was a fucking gamer. Since I've made fun of everyone else in my stories, I think I gotta make fun of myself too. So when I was 16, I hadn't had a girlfriend yet. And for whatever reason, my friend had a class with this girl. And she basically made a comment to him that she thought I was cute. So my friend is like, would you date him? And she's like, yeah. But basically she texted me, and we texted for a while. And I asked her if she still wanted to be my girlfriend. And she said, yeah. and we began dating. Except the next day at school, I had a panic attack because I realized I had no idea how to be someone's boyfriend. And it gave me extreme anxiety to the point where I texted her and broke up with her after not even a full day of dating. I was single the rest of the year. So I guess it kind of blew up in my face. I'm trying to think of who else I can talk about. I was friends with this one guy, and he liked this girl at our school for 4 years. And finally, one day, she decides to give him a chance. They date for, I want to say, 1 month, and he breaks up with her. And I was like, dude, what the fuck? And he was like, yeah, I kind of put all my hopes and dreams on her, and then she could never live up to that. It definitely taught me pretty early on, because I was still a teenager back then, that you shouldn't pin all your hopes on like one goal, because it's probably going to let you down. And if you're someone who's like never happy with anything, you're probably not going to suddenly be happy because you've achieved one goal. I'm going to switch up from these school stories and talk about an internet story. One time, me and my friend Justin played Fly FF, and we eventually met other people. Most of them were pretty normal. One of them that was pretty noteworthy, though, was this guy who I'll call Zeta. Zeta was the leader of a clan. He also played an assist character, so his job was to heal us. I was, I believe, 14 at this time. At a certain point, Zeta got pissy. He started basically refusing to heal us, and we were all in a guild together. And that guild had a lot of money, and we had access to that money. So you can kind of see where this is going, and we took half the money and split it between us. So Zeta messaged us, some assholes took half our money. And we were like, oh no, how could this have happened? But he didn't even demote us. So more or less we waited a few weeks and waited for the guild balance to build back up. And we did the same thing again, except this time we took all of it. And of course this time Zeta was smart enough to demote both of us. And we just basically told him to go fuck himself. I think about that from time to time. If I would still do the same thing now, I don't think that I would. Zeta was annoying for sure, but I don't think we should have taken all of his stuff. So I really 100%ed the game, and I get the exact same cutscene. So there's no post-game content, and Bowser is still there. I guess I'm just going to take it for what it is and assume that is the 100% ending. I enjoyed playing this well enough. I really didn't like the Bowser blocks, because you have to sit around and wait for Bowser to break them. I also don't like the fact every time you unlocked a secret pipe with Bowser Jr., it just led to a coin room. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. I'm going to head out and get some sleep, and I'll see you guys on the next one, whatever that may be. Look at all the cute kitties, and look at all that lava.